Hey there, so today we have another review. This is another part of the Dichotomous series. This is the Hibernal. So this is a barrel-aged farmhouse ale with carrot juice, turmeric, and ginger.
I don't think I've had a beer with carrot juice in it, so that's gonna be a first one for me.
You know, funny thing,
I might have it. I take that back. I would have to think about that. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think I've ever had one.
I think it's a relatively newer thing to be using carrot juice in beer. I will say, I think someone, the craziest package I've ever gotten was somebody sending me a home brew. I think it might have actually been a commercial beer, but it was all the way from Sweden. So sent it, usually all the packages I get are from the States. Like you're sending beer across customs and from Sweden, something like that. So
Yeah.
that's the only time I've ever tried beer.
Well, think about carrot juice actually makes sense in that it's sweet, inherently sweet.
Well, winter harvest. So that's what they're going for.
In where I'm from in Venezuela, we very typical blends of juices that we drink are orange juice blended with carrot juice and blended with beet juice.
Beet. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's called
Vegetable fruit thing.
yeah, it's called the oh my god, I'm totally spacing on the name, but
I don't know if I knew, I knew it.
no, it will come to me in
Yeah.
a second. But it's actually quite nice, and I think the beets also work in beer.
Red beets. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
yeah,
No,
absolutely.
there's beers that are made with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Hasn't Jester King made one with beets?
I don't
I think they have.
Maybe possibly.
Yeah.
Looks a little bit orangey, but I wouldn't guess there was carrots added necessarily, right?
I mean, how will they look though?
Well, if it would be way more like saturated, like the
Yeah.
juice you're talking about. Like you can juice the hell out of a carrot and get like this really rich orange character, but it's re-fermented on carrot, so it's all dropped out and get a little bit of color from there. So who knows? Okay, there we go.
Wow, I like the nose on this, man.
Turmeric. A lot of turmeric, huh?
Yeah.
Turmeric for days. It's very spicy on the nose. Like you clearly like it has a little acidity, bread, and all that stuff, but it's clearly spiced.
Definitely not that sweet kind of burnt kind of sugar one.
Sugar, yeah. I also might even get that kind of like vegetal kind of carrot thing on the nose, but we'll see.
Kind of jumped the gun drinking it.
I can do the talking, you do whatever.
Yeah. I'll do the drinking, you do the talking.
Yeah. Similar to the last beer, the carb is on the lower end. Acidity also on the lower end, allowing the flavors to pop. But
Has that been a thing with Jester King lately?
No, I don't. No,
Really?
for sure not. I did have one yesterday, like a cherry beer, and seemed to have like much more head. And
Yeah, well,
carbonation.
the fruited ones, especially when it's a fruit that already has some innate, kind of acidity to
Yeah.
it. You'd expect that, but when it comes to this type of beers, have they been more like bready and less acidic, or? Because I
did have one that was a little bit
drinking a lot of these beers lately, so.
So I had the
That's
fruited,
what I
the
asked.
super fruited one, which just tastes like whatever mixed fermentation. Not whatever, but it's in the vein of a lot of other breweries that are doing super jammy, concentrated mixed fermentation sour beers. I did have one that was just their straight like honey lemon peel farmhouse ale, and it tasted more like Jolly Pumpkin and Hill Farmstead, with a little bit more sharper acidity, more that minerality Breton thing. Here, I think you're relying a little bit more on the extra ingredients and maybe just a little less acidity and showing the crazy ingredients you're using.
Gotcha.
I think it helps showcase. One was the charred toasted wood bark, blah blah blah. Here's the carrot juice, ginger, turmeric. So it allows you to find the ingredient maybe a little bit more obviously.
I like the sound of honey and lemon.
The honeys were mostly fermentable. It was just mostly a farmhouse beer. Like one of like bomb beer, in that vein. Honey, lemon, maybe a little bit of that, but bomb beer is just straight. Mixed fermentation, barrel aged.
You never got to taste the Pollinator beer by Audrey?
I don't think so.
Yeah, wish I had one of those. Not to bring a different beer to
No, we're talking
this beer review, but
we're talking about other beers.
I'm only thinking about those beers because I was a huge fan of them. It was a series of 3 beers that Matt put out, and they had that honey character to each of them, and each of the beers had a different honey in it. But Matt's flavor, of the mixed culture. I'm talking about Matt from Oddbreed.
Yeah, and if you don't know, Oddbreed's like a mixed fermentation brewery. It's still in Florida, and Dan's one of the original partners.
Yeah, but Matt, one of the things about his mixed culture is, it's just like somewhat like naturally, magically balanced, perfectly balanced. He almost could throw it in anything and it would taste amazing.
Yeah.
Then again, the guy's a microbiologist, so it kind of makes sense. But that beer makes me think a lot about having honey tea with lemon and how soothing that is when you're, I guess, feeling a little down or sick or something. And that beer is the equivalent of that, the perfect amount of sweetness, honey flavor, and acidity with funk, clearly, because you had a little bit funk backbone in there. But I don't even know how we got there. But you were talking about
another beer that I had.
The other beer,
other beers that I've had in relation to Jester.
Correct. Yeah.
Yes. So what do you think about this?
I'm digging it, man. I mean, there's been very few instances where I haven't really enjoyed the Jester King beer.
Yeah, I did review. I was like, I don't think I've ever not had I've had a miss from Jester King.
I can't recall many times. Even like back in the day when I wasn't entirely versed on this beers, it was very, very early on when I lived in Houston. I traveled to Austin and I had my first Jester King beer at a brew pub in Austin called the Black Star Co-op. It was the first brew pub that was founded as a co-op.
Okay.
So it was owned by the employees.
Yeah.
And I had a really nice kind of benchmark session with the owner. I was trying to learn the business, how to own and operate a brewery in a beer business. And he had Mad Meg on tap. It's the first Jester King beer that I ever had.
Okay.
And I remember being so intrigued by the complexity and the flavors. But he also had a beer called, I think it was called like Petite Prince or something like that.
Petite Prince, yeah. It's a famous beer.
It was like
tiny, like 2.8%.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't understand that one.
Hoppy, yeah.
Back in the day, but then again, like I haven't had that beer in very, very long. I don't know
so good.
what it would do for me right now.
When it hits, we can find it.
Yeah,
it's a market.
I would love to.
I reviewed it this year. It's fantastic.
Oh, you
It's
did?
gonna be one of my top beers of the year.
For real?
Yeah. Well, it's like 2.8%. It's delicious.
No,
it's
I know.
It's a funny beer. Yeah.
But what is it about it? Because I haven't tried it in a very, very long time.
It's just a tiny, drinkable, hoppy, little bit of fermentation character, kind of like.
Okay.
Instead of drinking NA, I'd rather have a ton of that instead. It just does a little bit more.
It's not too far from it.
It's not too far, but it has so much more character. But
wow.
Yeah.
I wish I want to try one of those soon.
We'll try to find it for you. It still might be on the shelves. Actually, for sure it's on the shelf. Actually, just I was told one. But
yeah, but getting back to that, I remember having that one and being like, I don't get this.
Yeah.
This is way, way too light. I don't see much going on, but this was a long time ago. I mean, this is like
I thought the same too.
Almost 20 years ago.
Okay, so I'm thinking maybe more like maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
What is this? But now I like it more. So that's always the fun thing about it.
Yeah.
Your journey.
Yeah.
Here I'll talk about the beer you talked about.
Yeah, go for it.
So I think there's maybe a little less acidity, a little less Brett in here, but you definitely taste the ingredients more. I mean, it's just more obvious. Like there's much more flavor to this than toasted wood. You taste this like carrot juice, like vegetal thing. It has this raw carroty thing to it. I think the turmeric and ginger plays very fun with it. Doesn't taste like Indian food, which you can also jump there, but it tastes a little bit
well
like
incorporated.
Yeah, but it tastes a little bit like a vegetable juice that you make with like spices, ingredients, like something. This tastes like way too healthy. Like not something you drink to be like, oh, I'm hungry. It's like, let's get healthy and juice.
Like a nice little kombucha.
Ginger, juice, and just tastes healthy and of the day and running and health and working out. Like That's sort of like the impression of like the flavors I get. Like, it
Yeah.
just tastes like lively and, like you want to do something healthy. Even though you're drinking like alcohol.
You want to go for a run?
Yeah, right? Or like, oh! Okay, so now it's a fun one. I just found the ABV of this guy.
Super low.
3.8.
That makes sense.
I
And
honestly.
I'm calling it kombucha. I'm a kombucha drinker,
Yeah.
so I'm constantly drinking kombucha.
Sure.
And it makes sense. It gives me that feeling. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I honestly am not sure I would have guessed it compared to the 5.5.
Yeah.
I just back to back. We just had a back to back. I don't know. I would have guessed this low. I would
I would have never guessed more than the previous one.
I would have guessed
But I
not
would
more.
guess
I would guess the same.
The same or less.
Around. I would never guess. I wouldn't have guessed
Oh
under
wow,
4.
this is so light.
So light. But it's so much flavor for a 3.8 beer.
And it's funny that we brought up Petit Prince.
Yeah, it's
being
that's even lower
very,
than this.
very
That's
light.
even lower
Even
than
lower, but again, when it's this low,
But this
how
is-
much can you really perceive when it comes to?
the ingredients really help. I feel the Petit Prince is not really sour. It's mostly like the fermentation, like Belgian fermentation and maybe some Brett in there too. Here, there's definitely acidity. It's got a lot of flavor for 3.8.
Yeah.
I would have guessed, again, 5.5, no
Yeah.
question. So yeah, what are your final impressions on this beer?
I can drink it all day, man. I
Yeah.
mean, then again, it's gonna be very, very hard for you to hear me say
Yeah.
anything
Do
else.
you like the
about
flavors?
beer.
Like, what do you think
I
about
love the flavors.
ingredients?
I love the way everything is incorporated.
Mhm.
I don't feel that anything is
No.
out of place. I don't feel that anything.
I for sure think you'd overdo the ginger and the turmeric and all the-
Ginger too?
Ginger, turmeric, carrot juice.
Okay, I ginger is mild. The
Sure.
ginger is mild.
Very mild because you can definitely overdo it.
Yeah, because I love ginger, and I would tend to overdo ginger just because I love ginger. It's hard to, add enough ginger for me to be like, oh, too much ginger.
Oh, I
I
can
love-
definitely perceive that. Yeah.
I love ginger.
I like ginger cooking, but if you tell me like, hey man, I'm gonna just give you ginger tea or like just steeped
Mhm.
ginger in hot water, or it took me a while to even like the pickled ginger you get in sushi, like like just straight ginger to the face. I'm a little bit more hesitant. Oh, the ginger candies you get in cocktails. Like,
Yeah, of course.
People just eat that straight spicy, like. a little
Like
bit
I
more.
can do that. I dig
You
that.
can- but some people you could probably eat about a handful, not just one off the cocktail. Like you're like, give me a bag of that.
I could eat a bag of those.
Yeah. See, like,
So I
do
like
that.
that. No, I just like the
That's fine.
flavor. I find the little pickled ginger from the sushi places. I'll eat that as a snack. Like, I love it. It's just so delicious.
Yeah.
I mean, the ones from the sushi places have a lot of sugar in them.
Yes.
So they're also very sweet. So
Yes.
you get a
Same
nice
with the
balance
candies.
too.
Same with the candies.
Correct.
Sugar.
The tea though, that's a different story. When you make a really concentrated ginger tea, it will make your hair grow in your chest.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting that in here. I would actually love more ginger, to be honest.
Yeah,
just
I
because
can see
it's
that.
me and I love ginger.
Yeah.
But no complaints, man. This is
Mm-hmm.
delicious. Again, same as the other one that we
Yeah.
tried, which I also loved,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't mind more acidity just
Sure.
because
I
I
see that.
like acidity.
Yeah, me too.
I'm the guy that will take this beer. I would never do this out of respect for the brewers, but I want to like squirt some lemon in it.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I will never do it. I've never done it, but
Mm-hmm.
if you're talking about like say a cocktail, and it tastes like this, which
Yeah.
would be kind of weird, but I would want to squirt lemon on it.
Sure.
Yeah.
For me, I tend to like this one a little bit more. I find it a little bit more inviting and refreshing. That one just has a little bit more body and sweetness to it. I like the integration of ingredients, and I just have to give it more credit for a 3.8 beer. Like it tastes more complex than a beer that's 5.5.
True.
Well, not the malt body, that has a little bit more body and sweetness to it, but I think this one's a little bit better. So let's go with the 95. All right.
Yeah.
So, cheers, guys.
I second that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cheers.